Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the Children of the Sun radio show and podcast right here on WSTX AM 970, the soul of the Caribbean, broadcasting from beautiful St. Croix in the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea and available worldwide. I'm your host, Ray Bratcher. I'll be with you for the next couple of hours. I teach breathwork here on St. Croix. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the weekend. Happy Veterans Day, by the way. Big shout out to all the veterans out there. Hope everyone's doing well. You know, probably most veterans who've actually seen combat would be the first to tell you that war is probably the stupidest thing mankind ever invented. That there are no winners in war. That even the victorious side loses. They'd be the first to tell you that if you're going to use the military, it should be your last resort after you've tried everything else. Tried really hard. And the day is coming, rapidly approaching, I believe, when war will be no more. The day is coming, rapidly approaching, when, for example, Palestinian children and Israeli children will walk hand in hand. Because the day is coming, rapidly approaching, I believe, when there's going to be a shift in human consciousness. That shift is already taking place. It's already begun. If you're sensitive to it, you can feel it. A shift away from the egoic mind, a shift away from separation consciousness, which sees everyone is separate from one another. And, war is the ultimate in separation consciousness, isn't it? But that perception that we are all individual, separated people with separate interests and competing needs in a world of scarcity, which teaches us that if I get what I want, you can't have what you want. All of that is an illusion. It's not real. Because we're all one consciousness. We are all a part of the one absolute consciousness. We are all aspects of the oneness. And this sort of illusionary video game that we went into for a while, that gives the appearance of separation, has about played itself out. We can either shift into the new consciousness that is calling to all of us. Everyone can feel it. Or if we continue on the path we're on, that we've been on, if we continue on the egoic path of separation that we've been on for around 10,000 years, we're probably going to wipe ourselves out. So that's probably not a good way to go. And you know that what I'm saying is true. There's a place in you that resonates with these words. Everyone knows it. Oops. Many of us pretend not to know, but we know. You know, I've been working with trauma on the individual level with individual clients since 1995. And I don't really work with collective trauma, except insofar as it's adversely impacting the client standing in front of me in the treatment room. But insofar as addressing collective trauma, trying to make some kind of change with it, I don't really do that. There are people who do. Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate, for example. So he writes books and he works with governments to try to bring about an overall change in the collective trauma of different groups. Thomas Hubel, he does a thing where he gets together huge groups of Israelis and Germans and tries to heal, well, successfully heals the collective trauma around the Holocaust. So I work with people one-on-one. But I've always been fascinated by the interplay between collective trauma and individual trauma. The way that some aspects of collective trauma are really just exact mirrors of the individual trauma. It's sort of additive. You have things that happen with an individual and their trauma, and mainly around the suppression of trauma. So individuals that are traumatized will suppress their trauma, and then that causes certain things to happen. And then if you have collective trauma, it's happening to each individual, and it's kind of additive. It's the same thing that the individual is experiencing, except now it's on a collective level. So it's additive. It's the same thing, just multiplied. Instead of one person doing it, millions of people are doing it. And then there are also the aspects of collective trauma which are kind of more holistic. They're where the sum of the parts, or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Things happen on the collective level that you don't see on the individual level. So one of those things is that when a collective, a group, could be a country or a race, a culture, a religion, when a group makes a group decision to suppress a collective trauma, their collective trauma, it becomes necessary for them all to make an agreement. It's on the subconscious level, but it's an agreement they make amongst themselves to maintain the suppression by agreeing how they're going to perceive things, what they're going to see, what they're going to think, how they're going to interpret things. So as a group, they uniformly interpret perceptions in a way that does not threaten the suppression of the trauma, the collective trauma they've all agreed to suppress. And we're seeing that playing out in the Middle East right now. There's a famous Israeli scholar. His name escapes me right now. Sorry. But he's written that what makes the Middle East so prone to conflict is the inability of both sides to see the view of the other side. Both sides lack the ability of imagining what it would be like to be that other side. They can't have empathy for the other side. They can't put themselves in the other side's shoes and walk a mile. There's like this inability to do that. Not a refusal, he says, an inability. And that's because of the suppression of the collective trauma, because the subconscious agreement is not to do that. I saw an interview with an Israeli woman. Her son had been taken hostage on October 7th. And she was saying, I just want all the mothers in the world to imagine what it would be like for you if your son had been taken hostage. That's all I'm asking. Just every mother in the world, imagine what it would be like if your son had been taken hostage. So this was a woman that lives in Israel, which is a first world country, very nice country with very nice clean roads and architecture and restaurants and nightclubs and movie theaters and museums. Turns out her house is less than a mile from the Gaza Strip, which is not a very nice place to live, even before the bombings. Most people call it the world's largest open-air prison. The people there don't have nice gleaming architecture and clean streets and nice restaurants and nightclubs and movie theaters. So this Israeli woman has been her whole life living her life going to restaurants and nightclubs and movie theaters, then going home a mile away from a prison camp. And she's asking every mother in the world to imagine what it would be like if your son were kidnapped, as hers was. And nothing that she said during that interview gave the impression that she herself had ever, in her 27 years of life, imagined what it would be like to be a Palestinian mother with a son imprisoned or shot by a sniper or killed. And that's because of the agreement that she made, part of that collective agreement to keep the collective trauma of the Holocaust suppressed. On the individual level, suppression of trauma causes you to become disembodied. In order to not feel the pain, you have to not feel. You have to throttle down your ability to feel. You become dead. Your body becomes dead. You don't feel. And that's not only physical sensations, it's also emotional. Emotions, feelings, and physical sensations are all part of the body's kinesthetic response. Just different strengths along the same continuum. They're all the same thing. Just stronger or weaker. In order to not feel the emotional pain of the trauma you're suppressing, it's an all or nothing. You can't suppress only the stuff you don't like, or you can't not feel only the stuff you don't like. You have to deaden your ability to feel generally. So when good things happen, you don't enjoy them as much because you're kind of dead inside. You can experience happiness, but it's not a very profound happiness. You can experience joy, but it's not very strong. You're kind of going through life half alive, half feeling. So when you're suppressing a trauma, it deadens your ability to have empathy. You can't feel what the other person is going through. You can't empathize with the pain and suffering of the Palestinians if you can't even feel your own pain and suffering. And that's all a result of the egoic conditioning, the egoic belief in separation. The belief that we all separated from oneness and separated from each other is the ultimate traumatic experience. And then it just gets played out over and over and over again, lifetime after lifetime, century after century. Various manifestations and forms of that basic original trauma. And you can see that the results are not good. We see so much hatred, so much anger, mutating into an orgy of murder and massacre. That's not the way to go. That's not going to bring peace. Love is the only answer. The day will come when Israeli and Palestinian children will walk hand in hand. Or the day will come when the race of man is no more. But aren't you tired of the hate, the anger, the constant drumbeat of war? Aren't you tired of it? Can't you see that it gets us nowhere? Can't you see that it's futile, pointless, serving no end but maybe to gratify the emotional addiction to hate? That the ego has? You don't have it. You're not the ego. The ego is something that you have. And it has an emotional addiction to hate and anger, because those are strong feelings. The ego is the original trauma. It can't feel. It's dead inside, disembodied, cut off from its body, which is where you feel things. So as long as you identify with the ego, as long as you think you are the ego, then you're cut off from your body, and your ability to feel is incredibly reduced. But if you allow yourself to give in to hatred, to give in to anger, those are strong emotions, and you can feel them. You feel alive. So it's addictive. It's very addictive. And that's why we keep repeating these same patterns. We're addicted to them, and we don't realize that they aren't just stuff happening to us, that we are creating them because we're suppressing our traumas. And the trauma doesn't go away when you suppress it. It just festers deep down inside you, looking for ways to get out, to manifest something in your perception of your outer world. And if something manifests in that outer perception, that you have a choice. It can be a opportunity, or it can be just another time when you give into the addiction and keep the illusion going, projecting it forward in time. So if something arises in your perception that feels like an attack, like you want to get angry, or you want to be full of hate, and you're thinking, I am justified in being angry, I am justified in being full of hate, and that those emotions move through you and make you feel alive, give you something that you can feel even through your dead body, your disembodiment of your trauma. It's a very satisfying feeling. It's very satisfying to give in to your addiction. It's very satisfying to feel alive for the first time in a long time. And so with your thoughts, you're confirming the reality of that perception, the reality of the separation, the reality of the belief that we are all separate from oneness and separate from one another. And that keeps the illusion going. It gives it more time. Or it can be an opportunity. You can look at that which arises in your perception, inviting you to hate, to be full of anger. And you can say to yourself, since this is teaching me that separation is real, and I know that separation is not real, this must not be true. My perception is misleading me. How can I see this differently? I don't have to listen to the voice of the ego. I do not have to identify with that egoic conditioning. I do not have to hate. I do not have to be filled with anger. I do not have to go on a murderous rampage. How can I see this differently? How would oneness see this? And with the rapidly approaching shift in consciousness, oneness is closer to us than ever. So it doesn't take much, just a little bit of willingness, even if you have no idea how you're going to see things differently, just a little bit of willingness to be shown a different way of looking at things, to be shown how to see things differently, just a little bit of willingness. Oneness is so close, it will close the gap, and you will be shown a different way of seeing, a different way of viewing, a different way of interpreting your perceptions. You'll be shown the illusionary nature of separation consciousness. You'll be shown a way out of anger and hatred and fear. You'll be shown the peace that passeth all understanding. Why are we seeing now in the Middle East what we are seeing? Hurt people hurt people. We know that. We all know that. One choice is to hurt people, keep hurting people, and then those people hurt back, and they hurt back, attack, counterattack, attack, counterattack, back and forth in a never-ending orgy of hatred, rage, anger, destruction, and war. That's one way to go about it. It's one way to do it. Does that make any sense to you? I know it does not make any sense to me. The day will come, and is rapidly approaching, when Israeli children and Palestinian children will walk hand in hand. Maybe another way of explaining about what I'm talking about is experientially. Let's see if we can maybe experience this oneness that I'm talking about. So this will be a kind of meditation with some breathing. To place us in a state that makes us more receptive to the one consciousness that permeates everything. You'll be closing your eyes, so if you're driving, you might want to just listen, maybe catch the replay later when you get home. So you should just be sitting, have support for your back. You don't want to be on a stool or something that you might fall off of if you get too relaxed. Alternatively, you could just be laying down. Some people get really good meditations laying down, as long as you don't fall asleep. There's nothing wrong with falling asleep, but falling asleep is not meditating. So if you want to get the benefits of meditating, and laying down is going to make you fall asleep, then you probably don't want to be laying down. But if you can lay down and stay awake and do your meditation, that's great. Or you could be sitting in a chair. You want to be comfortable. Meditation was made for men, not man for meditation. Sometimes I see people they going into a full lotus or half lotus position and feeling like they can't move, like they have to be a statue for the entire duration. And that can get painful, but they don't want to move. You can't meditate well if you are in pain. So you do whatever you have to do to get your body comfortable. Just as long as you don't get so comfortable you fall asleep. Anyway, so just be sitting in a chair, feet flat on the floor, back relatively straight. It's okay to slouch, though. Adyashanti says some of the best meditators he ever met slouched. You don't want pain in your spine, your lower back. You just want to be comfortable. Your hands could be in your lap, palm up or palm down. Doesn't really matter. Close your eyes if you want to. And begin by just becoming aware of your breath. Don't change your breath. Don't do anything special with your breath, but just become aware of it. Focus your attention on it. Just notice your breathing. We don't usually pay attention to our breathing. And that's part of the way that we step out of our bodies, that we disembody, that we detach from our bodies. Most people live in their heads. They think of themselves as located in the skull, like a little man driving the body around. You are your body. Right? Get me? So just bring your attention into your breathing. Notice how you breathe. Observe how you breathe. Are you breathing in and out through your nose? In and out through your mouth? In your nose and out your mouth? In your mouth and out your nose? What does the breath feel like when it passes through your nose? What does your chest feel like when your lungs expand? Just notice your breathing. Follow the air into your body. Watch it in your body and then follow it out of your body. Just notice your breathing. Is your breathing deep or shallow? Is it slow or fast? Now, if it feels right to you, I would invite you to breathe through your nose only. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. Allow your mouth to just gently close and relax, and breathe in and out through your nose. Feel the air in your nostrils as it goes up your nose. Feel it in your sinuses. Where can you feel it? Do you feel it anyplace else? Can you feel your shoulders rising as your chest expands? Can you feel the air inside you? Watch your exhale. When you exhale through your nose, does the warm air coming out of your nostrils feel differently than the way it felt when you were inhaling? It's a subtle change. You can notice it if you pay attention. And that's what we're doing here. We're learning to really pay attention to our breathing in our body. Not just glossing over it, assigning a thought, a story, a picture, and a label. I'm breathing in and out. Yeah, okay. Get into it. Really get into it. Really focus on the sensations in your body that you experience around your own breathing. Notice something you've never noticed before, perhaps. Breathing happens automatically, but we can also control it. Isn't that interesting? It's always sounded like an invitation to me. And it turns out that every emotion and every state of consciousness is associated with a particular breathing pattern. So if you are anxious, your breathing gets shallow and fast. If you're relaxed, your breathing gets slow and deep. But it works the other way. If you breathe slowly and deeply, you can make yourself relax. So we'll do a counting exercise now where we will be breathing slowly and deeply. And not only getting relaxed physically, but this count also encourages a shift into the consciousness that is more empathetic, more compassionate, and more joyful. And so it's a simple count. We inhale through our nose for 4. 4 seconds. You don't really have to worry about watching a clock. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody does that, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll be close enough to 4 seconds. It's not that critical. So you count to 4 on the inhale, Then you hold your breath for 4, and then you exhale for 6. Count to 4 when you breathe in, hold your breath and count to 4, and then count to 6 while you're exhaling, while you are breathing out. All of this is through the nose, and you don't count out loud, count inside your head. So it's 4 on the inhale, 4 to hold, and then 6 for the exhale. And we can begin. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the end of the exhale, relax, rest, breathe in again when your body wants to. This is not circular breathing. Just breathe normally, the way you normally do, except you're counting, you're breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 6. So we'll resume. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue to breathe 4, 4, and 6.
Count for yourself now quietly in your head and maintain your 4-4-6 breathing. And notice while the count goes on, you're now able to become aware of your entire body. You can feel your entire body as one whole. You're breathing your entire body. There's no difference between your breath and your body. Your body is breathing. Your breath is your body. You are your breath. Your body is you. Continue breathing. Feel your body. Notice your body in your breath. Now bring to mind someone that you are upset with. It could be a minor irritation. It could be a lifelong enemy. Just bring to mind someone that you have a problem with, someone that you are upset with. It could be that they're upset with you and you feel bad about that. That feeling bad is an upset. An upset is anything other than total joy and peace. So anyone that you have any kind of upset with, bring them to mind. Imagine that they're standing right in front of you. See them in your mind's eye as you continue breathing 4-4-6. And I want you to see that person now as happy and blessed, prosperous, healthy, doing well. Everything in life is just working out great for them. Come on, you can do it. Be willing to see them another way. You and they are one. You and that person are one consciousness. If they're suffering, you're suffering. When you release them, you're releasing yourself. And you release them by perceiving them as they really are, not as they want to trick you into believing they are. You can justify your upset and continue the same egoic conditioning, the same thoughts of separation. Or you can see them another way. If you are seeing them as an enemy or as irritating to you, or they did something wrong, or you have a problem, you're not seeing them as they really are. You're falling for the illusion they want you to believe in, because they're projecting their own guilt. And if you accept that guilt and confirm to them, yes, you are guilty, you're confirming your own guilt. You're telling your own mind, I am guilty. Instead, tell your mind, I am free. And as you bless them, now see that they bless you. They see you as happy, prosperous, joyful, healthy, doing well in life, all good things happening for you. Receive that blessing from them now. Breathe it in. Allow yourself to experience it in your body. You're both one consciousness, both part of the oneness. And as soon as you release the need to be separate, the oneness can manifest and begin to flow. And as you release this person, any person, you release all people, and all people release you. It only seems like you have to work with people one at a time because you're believing in separation. But in the oneness, you are one with all people. You are one with the universe. There's no separation between you and all that is. You are all that is you. Breathe into your body. Feel your body. Can you find the edges of your body? Where does your body end? Where is the edge of your body? Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Does your awareness extend beyond your physical body? Can you become aware of something on the other side of the room? Can you place your awareness on that something on the other side of the room? Does your awareness reach out to that something on the other side of the room, beyond the edge of your body? Can you become aware of something behind you? Can you place your awareness behind yourself? Place your awareness in your heart and allow your body to show you the love that lives there. Feel the love in your heart. And allow that love to grow and expand. Like a ball growing and expanding, a golf ball, then a baseball, soccer ball, basketball, growing and expanding until it surrounds your entire body. Feel this love, this sphere of love surrounding your entire body. You are not aware of this love, you are this love. This love is you, this love is your awareness. And this love is expanding even further past the edges of your physical body, expanding in the room, expanding to the object you placed your awareness on earlier, expanding to the object behind you you place your awareness on. No limits. Consciousness has no limits. Expanding. Allow your love to expand until the person you blessed, who blessed you, is encompassed by your love. Expand your love, encompass your family, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, the people you meet on a regular basis, your town, expanding your city, your country. Expand your sphere of love until it encompasses and encloses the entire world. becoming one in loveness with the person next to you is not easier than becoming one in love and oneness with everyone on the planet, and in fact with the entire universe. Oneness is oneness. There's only oneness. There's no closer or further, easier or harder aspect to one. It's just one. Within our sphere of oneness, if you like, if it resonates with you, focus your attention and your awareness on the Middle East. See them blessed and healed. See them willing to see a different way, to see the other side, really see. Help them to stop suppressing their trauma. By refusing to believe that of them. See a land, visualize it in your mind's eye, where Palestinian children and Israeli children walk hand in hand. Now within your sphere of love that is blessing the entire planet, if you like, if it resonates with you, shift your awareness to Ukraine. See your loving awareness caressing all the people and all the meadows and flowers and animals of Ukraine, saturating everything with your love. Gently calling them, both sides, to see differently, to let go of the trauma that gives rise to the illusion of separation, and to see the reality of oneness, to choose peace instead of war, love instead of hate. Know that you are a blessing to them. And now shift your loving awareness to Sudan. Let the dry, parched land become saturated with your loving awareness. Let it drink your love. Let the people there be shown a different way of perceiving, as you are shown a different way of perceiving them. See them as one and whole and loving. Now we shift our awareness, our loving awareness, to Syria. No longer buying the illusion of the inevitability of war, of the common place occurrence of war, hatred, anger, be willing to be shown how to see it differently. Be willing to be shown how to not agree with them when they try to tell you, we are angry, we hate, we war. There is only oneness. That is the reality. Be a little willing, a little open to the possibility. And oneness will close the gap. Now, if it feels right to you, bring your awareness to anything in your personal perception that you know about or you're going through. Maybe something your neighbors are going through, or something that you know somebody is going through, something more personal maybe than what's taking place in far off lands. Your loving awareness is healing the entire earth. Wherever there might be any kind of conflict or war, your loving awareness is blessing that place, healing the entire planet, even places where there are conflicts that we don't know about. But if a conflict in your own personal field of perception, not a full-blown war probably, but if it's gotten bad enough to really catch your eye, if it has gotten bad enough that you are really noticing it as you go about your life day to day, week to week, month to month, then it is being presented to you for you to heal. If it is in your awareness, it's your job. You are being shown this so that you will heal it. Bring your loving awareness, the sphere of love emanating from your heart, to this situation. And let your love bless it. See them transformed and transcended, happy, prosperous, joyful, peaceful, loving, enjoying all good things. See the oneness flowing through them. And now we're going to return to our meditation seat. Just bring your awareness gently back. Bring your awareness gently back to your heart. Going back within your body. Bring your awareness back to your breath and how it feels in your body. Feel now, notice your body and your breath. Notice the happier, more joyful, more light feeling that you are feeling now. You've released your own trauma by helping others to release their trauma. By seeing them without trauma, you see yourself without trauma. And that is the reality. Seeing through the illusion just a little bit. And then next time, the next opportunity to take the ego's bait, you see through the illusion. You can choose to see through the illusion just a little bit further. And then the next time, just a little bit further. Freeing yourself of all the suppressed trauma. So it doesn't have to fester and look for a way to get out and manifest bad stuff in your life. Come within your body, breathe into your body, feel your body. Feel the calm center, the peace you have now. Just by choosing to bless the apparent other as one with you, you raise your frequency, you raise your joy. Let your breathing return to normal now. Don't worry about counting. Just let your body find its own rhythm. Let your breath find itself. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Be gentle with yourself. Nothing jarring. Look around your room, around your meditation chair. Notice how much better things look when you are looking at them with eyes of love. If you're listening to this later, maybe on Facebook or Spotify, if you're listening to it at night and you can go to sleep right after this, that would be great. If you can go to sleep in this consciousness. If you're listening to it during the Friday regular time, 12:30 to 2:30, so it's afternoon. Try and maintain this for as long as you can, looking at everything in your environment, including other people, with eyes of love. Stay in this state, this consciousness, for as long as you can. And if eventually you fall out of it, don't beat yourself up. That's just more separation consciousness. Guilt. Beating yourself up is beating yourself up, and guilt for falling out of separation consciousness is more separation consciousness. It's trying to fix the problem with the problem. So that's not going to work. You have to bless yourself as well. Be compassionate to yourself. Cut yourself some slack, people. Right? So, thank you for joining me. Really enjoyed feeling you all out there, our shared time together. So, this is AM 970 WSTX, broadcasting from beautiful St. Croix in the turquoise waters of the Caribbean. This is the Children of the Sun show with your host, Ray Bratcher. You can listen to this on the radio station's Facebook page, my Facebook page, also Sacred Breath Facebook page. I teach Sacred Breath here on St. Croix. And the Spotify, which is also called Sacred Breath. So if you want to catch the recording later when you're not driving, that's the places that you can do that. Love you all. Enjoy the weekend. Get out into nature if you can. Been a little wet here lately, but we bless it and love it and see it as perfect, just the way it is, because it is there for us to get our maximum learning. It's a choice. It's always a choice. Choose wisely. I'm out. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye. Love you all.